Hello, everybody. Good
Hello,
evening
hello.
in this
How are we
after,
doing today?
just fine, the aftermath of the Raiders season. And there's so many things going on, right?
Yeah.
We got coaching selections, then there's all the talk about what we're going to do with that number one pick, right?
Oh, yeah. We
And
had actually we had a discussion about it last night on my regular Thursday show. I had Tom as well as Murph. Murph stopped in, which was
okay,
awesome because Murph came in and Tom, aka Fester, came in, and then when both of them popped out, I Angelo and I were discussing it. So it's going to be ongoing. It's going to be basically ongoing, nonstop for the rest of the next couple months up until the draft because we will know who the new coach is. We will know what the chase will be, and then we will know who the number one pick is, and I think we'll also know who that will be based upon our activities in free agency. Am I correct in assuming that, or are
no,
you
you
going to tell
are.
me something otherwise?
No, no. And it really boils down to two different philosophies. Okay. The philosophy about building a team before you pick a rookie quarterback or pick the rookie quarterback and then hope everything else comes along. Okay. And that's what that
Right.
number one pick is all about. We don't know enough about Spy Tech, right? We don't know what his thinking is. Build through the draft
Mm-hmm. Well,
or
I know more about Spike per se, or my opinions of Spy Tech are based upon personal observations made by philosophy of his former team. And I've also can say that, and actually we discussed this last night, myself and Angelo, because Angelo was like, "Man, I'm really not impressed with Spy Tech's picks," and I'm like, "Why?" He goes, well, and he goes over the dissertation of we could have had this guy in round one, we could have had this guy in round two, we could have had this guy in round three. And I said, well, okay. And then we went over the fact that Spytech was basically under the thumb of our coach, Pete Carroll. So because of that, he was kind of hamstrung with what he was picking. And I said, okay, I got you there. I agree with that. But I also say that based upon the picks that we made and their activities and what they are able to do or what we have seen and what we haven't seen, we can project whether they were good picks or not, whether they might not have been the best picks for value in that round. It's like spilt milk. We can't go back and
yeah,
redo the draft.
and I leave the rookies alone year one. I mean, you really, especially with the coaching situation, how bad, the turmoil on the team, dismissing the OC and the specialty. There's no way we can judge the quality of his picks at this time. But I want
Mm-hmm.
to go back to what you were saying about Spy Tech in Tampa Bay. He wasn't the GM in Tampa Bay.
No, he was not, and I never said he was. But
Okay.
I know
And
what his leader, what the qualities was that basically were imparted upon him. Much like we figured out what Reggie, when he was the GM, based upon his impact of philosophy that was imparted upon him in Green Bay, which basically did come to fruition. He played the Green Bay book by rote based upon
mhm.
what his teachings were. So if we deal with what a guy is known or what his dealings and teachings are, we can infer, not always correctly, but we can infer where he is going with things. And then we see that later on. And I think that this will be the very first year because it'll be his draft, his picking the coach, saying, these are the guys I want, and this is what I'm giving to you, and how he builds the team. But I can infer, or not infer, I can guesstimate how he builds things through his teachings through Jason Light. And the fact he doesn't have a damn coach over his friggin' left shoulder saying, no, I don't want that. I want this.
Well, let's go down to what we're hoping his list is, his little off-season list.
Yeah.
If O-line is not at the top of this list, I'm going to doubt his competence as a GM. Okay?
Yeah.
Simple as that. And I'm not talking about through the draft. See,
right.
We see, we're talking about the ability to attract free agents to play for the Raiders. This is going to be a little bit more difficult than people understand. He was not able to attract any of them last season, but like you said, we got to throw out what happened last season because we just had Carroll in the mix and we just don't know how power and authority was allocated. But if O-line is not at the top of this list and 2 veteran guards, and that's a tall task, and that's going to tell me what kind of GM he's really about. The ability to attract free agents. And you know his job is hard, Captain. You know it's hard.
Oh, yeah.
We're not talking about money here. We're just talking about a player, a veteran player who's, maybe 26, 27 years old, looking at the future of his career.
Right.
Does he come to Vegas? Seeing all the turmoil, the constant coaching changes, the way players have been treated. That's going to be Spytek's biggest job. He's got to be a salesman. He's got to talk to those agents and sell the Vegas and the Raiders like he never has done in his life.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big job to step up to. Veteran guards. I'm not talking about the draft for the guard position. Maybe captain, the center position you can draft.
Right.
What are you thinking?
No, actually, I'm talking the interior being one person, either A or B. If you get a veteran center, that's good because we have the capabilities to what we have with our guards as stipulated on the roster right now in the product of JPJ as well as a throwing Mr. Rogers. I love saying Mr. Rogers, but yeah, throwing Mr. Rogers in at guard or swinging my man DJ Glaze from tackle into guard. So we have people that are already on the team, which based upon what we see with who the coach comes in, and that's going to be important, who the coach is, who the OC is, and who the O-line coach is. Because then we will figure out what they see in our guys and what we need to plug and play with who we bring in free agency. And I honestly think that the coach, the dynamic coach, which I'm thinking is either going to be a dynamic new OC type coach or an established defensive coach with a hell of a great OC on his staff, that's a marquee. You get somebody that is respected in the league via a coach and the OC, if you're bringing in offensive people, that's your cachet. Then you have some guy with 7 rings who's a pure salesman. He's like, look what we can do. Look what we can do. Because other than that, I want him to shut his mouth. I want him to be the front salesman that gets you in the door with the big gleaming shiny teeth and the product says, hey, come in. Hey, wow, look at this. We got this great stadium. We got this great facilities. Hey, I'm going to turn you over to John. John's going to finish this. And then it becomes John doing the sales pitch. But the key points are that dude with the 7 rings, gotta hate saying that that's his importance, and the head coach and the OC. And then obviously the head coach and the DC for establishing any defensive free agents, because we got to start the ground running with free agents and where we get those. Got to do that first. So once we see the people that are even coming in, and yes, we are going to have to overpay because, but
of course, that goes without saying. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. They're going to take our money and then they're going to get hurt or run. But the fact of the matter is, to attract top free agents to Vegas, it's going to take a lot more. And I've even heard people talking about, well, they'll see we have the number 1 pick. Nevada has no sales tax. That's not going to sell a free agent. He's thinking about his career. He's a professional. And from what he has seen, the whole league has seen from the Raiders, it's just not a good place to go. Mm-hmm. It just hasn't been. You're asking him to take a leap of faith. Also, we're not a team that's playoff ready. A lot of vets.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of vets are going to choose teams that are in the mix, did well this year, and, they could need something to build on it to fill some holes. Playoff ready. We're far from that. We're not a good sell, and this is not being negative. It is what the agents and their clients are looking at, and that's the reality. There isn't anything to sell us but money.
Well, yes and no. And I'm going to differ, because me and you having a difference of opinion, oh my God, that never happens on our show, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm going to defer in the fact is, are we playoff ready in 26 coming up? Oh, hell no. Okay. And I stopped the F, right? It was implied, right? Because we can imply a bunch of different things. But I honestly think that the selling point will be the organization with the new head coach and the OCs in the DC, because an agent will now listen to me, Peggy. You can turn a team around in 1 year. The Patriots were laughable last year, and they were the number 1 seed.
Well, it didn't help with that 4th place schedule, feasting on the 95-pound weaklings, but you got to take advantage of the opportunity.
Right, right. I'm sorry, they weren't the number 1 seed, the number 2 seed in the NFC, but they turned it around in 1 year, Peggy. And there are other teams that turned it around in 1 year. The Seahawks were the number 1 seed in the NFC, and they weren't even in the playoffs last year. You can do it by turning things around. Now, I'm not saying that the Raiders are going to be the ESPN, oh my God, look at them team for 2026 season. But if you sell the long term of this is who our new coach is, and this is what we are going to do, and we are sweeping out the riffraff, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of get rid of the shit that has been clogging the pipes of the Raider organization, and get rid of that. Get rid of the bad voices and all this thing. And we're going to tell them, if you're looking to make the playoffs in 2026, it's not going to happen. But if you're looking to go to a team that is going to be a perennial playoff contender in 27, 28, and 29, this is the team to go to. We're going to pay you well, and you're going to have a great team to build around, and this is what we got. And that's the only thing we can do. We can't sell them on bullshit, but we can sell them on a product with coaching that is not effing Pete Carroll and his F-twat sons. It's got to be a respectable coach or an ascending young OC. That's what we got to do, because it's been done. the McVay tree.
They're not going to go. I'm sorry, Captain. I'm listening to you talking about our coach as a selling point.
Yes.
What in the last 25 years has given anybody in the league any evidence that the Raider franchise makes smart head coaching selections?
They haven't. We got to say that's the old Raiders, but we're going to do things.
How would they believe that? Tell me why they would believe that.
I can't fucking unfuck history. I can't. You're saying what? But I said you have to sell them on the opportunity and the possibility with things that are running, because we're saying, hey, we're getting things right. I think that there was a commercial in the past, and I can't remember for what company. It's like, we used to screw up a lot, but we're getting things right. And actually, their sales.
What evidence do they have that we're getting things right? You say it, talk about inference. You go on the past record to make an inference to spy tech. But when you say, oh, look at we're going in a new direction, we're picking a new head coach. Now you don't want to go on past record. Okay?
Peggy,
you want them to be hopeful like we are that we've made the right selection. Hopeful. You want them to gamble their career with us. And that's why, only reason why I said Spy Tech has a job. Whatever he has to do, he can bring in he can start, talking about the future in the next 3 years and his plan and all that kind of stuff. But whatever he does, he has to get out there on the free agent market and spend big money. The other position, some would say 2 positions, but wide receiver. And free agent wide receivers for 2026, a number one, true number one. Tough
Do you
job.
know who that is? Because I haven't looked yet. Have you looked at I'm being honest. I have yet to look at the who's available list yet. Somebody was in here.
If we limit ourselves to just free agents, then the list is slim. Trades, maybe there's somebody.
Yeah, that was my next one. People were talking about AJ Brown from the Eagles. No, because first off, I'm not trading for a guy that's a diva. I think we did that a couple seasons ago, and it didn't work out very well.
Beggars can't be choosers. I mean, at this point, we need somebody that's going to stretch the field, is going to change that offensive mix so that quarterback, whatever quarterback is starting, has that choice, which the quarterback this year didn't have that choice. We need a vet that attracts double coverage. And I said this in the offseason last year. We need that guy. And at this point, I don't care what his attitude is. I don't care if he's a diva or not. We need to stretch that field. We need to give the OC some options. That's the second biggest job that Spy Tech has to do. Didn't get done last year.
I was going to say, Kenna, screw you. I'm going to walk the plank. How am I walking the plank, stating things that are obvious? Because I'm trying to be positive in a point that's about positive. I don't know why you said I'm about to walk the plank. What have I said that's bullshit? What has Peggy said that's bullshit? These are obvious things. We have a team that is in turmoil and is a garbage dump. What is it? Trash fire, and you have to sell what can be. You're going to overpay for people. Period. You're going to overpay for people. When the Raiders bought Osemele, and Penn and
Mhm.
Gabe or sorry, not Gabe Jackson. We drafted Gabe Jackson, but Rodney Hudson. They overpaid, and they had the
Yes,
best
they did.
offensive line for a very small stretch. They overpaid because Oakland at the time was not the place to go.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to overpay, Kenna. So why am I going to walk the fucking plank in your mind because I'm saying things that
Well,
are right?
and you know, for those people that want some kind of magic new revelation, something said that they can share on Twitter and TikTok, that's not going to happen here. We're just giving you guys a chance to talk as well as we're talking about the situation of the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
And for my money, again, and it's interesting. Somebody brought up Mike Evans. I saw that he was a free agent. The question is, will Tampa let him go? Mm,
And if they did let him go, then it's because they know that he's and I live in Tampa, and Mike Evans is their dude. He is their premier Hall of Fame to be receiver. He's
yeah,
not leaving. He doesn't want to go. He'll probably take a contract that's good, but it's not even up to what is best. I would take a flyer on Chris Godwin if he's available because at least he's younger. He still has injury issues, but that's
hmm
who I would go for. And by the way, the person that asked, "Are those offensive linemen listed worth it?" Are you kidding? We had Jermaine Illuminor 2 years ago.
yes, we did.
No, no, none of those guys on that list that I saw, the quick list. I'm like, Pipkins is a friggin' Charger? No, he sucks, and the Charger O line sucks. I don't know who the third guy was, but the answer is no, no, and I didn't see who the third guy was. No, you got to
Yeah,
figure out.
and it's a question of now Spytek's philosophy. Is he going to go for building through the draft? Looks like he may be that kind of a guy. We don't know for sure,
I
but
think so. I
I
think
think
so.
maybe he's that kind of a guy, but we need help at guard now and center now, especially with the big elephant in the room. Are we going to pick a quarterback?
Yeah, and that's the question. That's why when you see who they go after in free agency, that will directly tie into what they are thinking for the number one pick. I still think that the Raiders are going to swing for Mendoza, but they are going to say this is what we got for offensive linemen. Okay, let's look at who we got in the building right now. Okay, that is viable. Rogers
Yeah.
and Grant are rookies plus one, but I think that they are good products to start with. Miller right now is penciled in as the old dude at left tackle, and until somebody comes and knocks him off, he's in the building. So is Glaze, and so is JPJ. So they're going to build on that. Those are the guys that they're going to build on. Then comes the question of getting either Linderbaum, and I think it's going to be the Raiders and the Chargers are going to try to overbid for his services. And it's going to come down to the Raiders and the Chargers for Linderbaum. And I want to put that up there. CJ, man, you are so awesome. Thank you for doing that. I know you got. I know you. And yes, I will do a prize wheel when I get my friggin' taxes done. That's my first immediate thing is to get my taxes done, and then I'll do a prize wheel. So thank you. But getting Linderbaum and also a tackle of worth like Walker, who from the Packers, who is probably, you didn't list him, but he is worth going after. So if you get Linderbaum and you get Walker, based upon the guys that we have, plus a guy in the draft or two, that's building the team for the future. And I think they can.
Yeah, and for all the people out there that say we just got to get a quarterback, and I can understand where you guys are coming from because we have just watched since Carr left, a parade of quarterbacks in that absolutely just did not get the job done. We were hoping to hit the jackpot with some vets. We didn't get there. And I
Yeah.
can understand how they want it. But if you draft a rookie and then claim you're going to build the O line at the same time, get yourself a receiving core, brand new OC, all of this going, the only thing that's settled is the running game, right? With
Yeah.
Genti. I can't, with the O line situation, I just can't see you throwing this kid to the Wolves. And I'm in the middle of doing a a study with some football statistical guys about the
Okay.
success of quarterbacks who start in year one. Okay, and
And wait, before you go there, because you were saying start in year one. I say you get the quarterback that you think is your future, and the quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders for 2026 is Aiden effing O'Connell.
if he can
Because
stay healthy, yes. If he
yes,
can stay healthy, yes. But the problem is there's going to be a heck of a lot of pressure from Raider Nation, from all over the place to start that guy year one. Whatever, if we do make that move to pick the quarterback. And again, I know this is one of those things that we have to seriously look at in the offseason. The quarterback position, the wide receiver position, the O line, and then I want to go to DT. Max needs help. Now, I don't even want to discuss whether Max going or staying. I mean,
that's immaterial.
it's immaterial. A DT to help out Max, and
Mhm.
not again. We saw some things at the end of the season. I don't know what you saw, Captain, but I saw some things at the end of the season.
I
I
saw
saw,
Peggy Hemingway tearing some ass in a good way.
yes,
In a good way. I
yes,
saw those guys. You know why? Because they were on the field and they were given reps. So
mm-hmm.
Mr. Pete, for I don't play rookies. And by the way, I put on a very special silver ring for you. This is for Pete Carroll. Okay. For you not
Con
for,
man.
for you not playing rookies. Okay. This
Mm-hmm.
is my official silver and black hued. I don't. It's like rhodium or silver or white. It's good. It's good metal. This is for you, Pete, because I saw Pegues and Hemingway kicking
Wow.
ass, kicking ass. So you're saying, well, we need some
Four
help.
sacks. The young
Peggy,
boy had Hemingway had 4 sacks in the
uh,
last 2 in the last game, but the 3 games that he actually was in the rotation, he had 4 sacks. And I mean, I'm looking at a guy like Kuntz. There you are in starting 17 games. You couldn't get anywhere near that. But I'm looking at a DT that again that draws double coverage. I'm looking at the potential we had with Christian Wilkins. I can't even talk about that anymore.
to
Is there
me,
one out there?
that's just a guy that we're going to get some money for, and is gone. And good riddance.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Christian Wilkins was a saving grace.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big mistake. And again, it just so it's egg on the face. It's like Javon Walker would have been a great receiver for the Raiders of old. D'Angelo Hall, okay, I call him Arsenio Hall, was a
Yeah,
saving.
I mean,
These are guys, but you know what? Christian Wilkins for what, like a half a year, maybe a half a year.
yeah,
What was a decent guy. So
we
I
need a
tell
guy like that. And out there in our audience, I mean, I'm hearing a lot of talk about we probably need to do something about either corner or safety or both,
yeah, I agree with that. But we need both.
and linebacker.
No, I'm not. I'm not sold on that.
Yeah, I mean, I at this point, and see, we're gonna have a new defensive coordinator coming
Yep.
in, and so many things are unsettled. That's why we sound a little ethereal and pie in the sky right now because we don't have a coaching staff in place.
Right.
That's the main thing. And but some people are thinking we need to look at that corner position. They weren't very happy with corner play last
Well,
year.
actually, I think we're good with corner, providing we put some money into Mr. Stokes. Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Stokes earned that contract, and we got Porter, who's sitting on the other side, who played extremely well when given the opportunity. So I think we got our two corners with Stokes and Porter, but it's always good to get another one.
Right. And I think maybe that, but my
I
top
agree with
list,
him. Ooh,
yeah,
no,
O line
Meriden.
and yeah, O line, definitely number one wide receiver slot, and
Yeah.
that maybe that DT just strengthen that line. We really, really have to give Crosby a chance to make some sacks, get him
Mhm.
single coverage, give him a chance to start playing up and down the line, free him from the responsibility of making that line better. And that's what we saw maybe the last couple of games. We
Yes.
actually saw the line play better than they had all season. And I'm not sure whether that's what they intended. But here's the next question:
Wait,
elephant sitting in the room.
I'm sorry. I apologize, Peggy. Sometimes I got to interject, and hopefully, I don't like to walk on your words. I really don't. I don't like to walk on
Go
your
ahead,
words.
go ahead.
But I saw, like you said, the defensive line play so much better the last 3-4 games. I saw when the offensive line played better against the Texans, and I'm like, where was this? Because I was at that game. They actually ran. They actually kept the quarterback upright, and there was pass plays that were. I mean, what about the wheel route to Genty out of the backfield? Was a 50-something yard wheel route
Yeah,
touchdown.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
they played better. I don't know. I don't know what happened because then we find out at the end of the season some of the things that I was telling you about is that Mr. Brennan Carroll didn't do any teaching, and the offensive line went on their own to get with Genty and Gino to get some stuff together. So they got to have done something right, and I think that maybe it was the other dude that was like the assistant that helped out with the offensive line last year. Maybe they did something there, but when they played well, you saw a modicum of what this team could be, providing that they start firing correctly, not being fired people that they fire correctly. Go ahead.
Right. And that's not that's one of those things that's neither here nor there because we're talking about a 17 game season, and overall, they never
Overall,
really got their act together.
yeah, overall it was trash. But you saw that what can happen when they actually do play well.
Right. And that didn't give me hope because I already knew that what happened the last two games, they fell right back to where they were,
Yeah,
especially in run blocking.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
hi Ed, and those are things that we are going to look at. And but first, we need to get that coach in place. And I wanted to bring this discussion right back to head coaches. And yes, I'm going to sound negative, so get ready, put your earplugs on, okay?
Hey, money
Because
check for
just
you.
like with
Yeah.
convincing free agents to come to Vegas, I think we're faced with the same problem with coaching.
Yeah, but except for the fact is that there's the NFL is an organization which has what? How many thousands of players, right?
Hmm.
How many thousands of players? How many NFL head coaches are there?
Well,
32.
yeah, and it will be a job for someone who wants head coach experience. But let's dive deeper into this. Something that I don't ever see when we're looking for head coaches, is this the right guy at the right time with the right temperament, with the right coaching philosophy? Questions that need to be asked
Mm-hmm.
instead of just taking the first big name that walks up and says, I want a job. We need to
I'm a Super Bowl winning, and I'm an NCAA national
right,
championship winning.
and that's right. We stop with no questions, no looking, doing our homework and looking to see his relationships with players,
Mm.
how he related to the front office, what was the atmosphere in Seattle at the time that he got let go.
Oh, just
And
say it got shit canned. Say it,
right,
Peggy. You got
and
shit canned.
that's what I'm saying. This next guy, are we going to ask the deep questions? Harbaugh's already off the market. He chose the Giants. That was an
Yeah.
interesting choice. What do you think
No,
about that?
but see, that was so obvious that he was not going to come here. I
Yeah.
mean, I had that pegged from. It's like I said, I will tell you two reasons why he's not coming to the race. Oh, three, other than the shit that you were talking about earlier. Okay,
Mm-hmm,
about it being a dumpster fire, right?
mm-hmm.
That's reason one. Reason two is it's in the AFC because his brother coaches in the AFC, which leads to reason three. He wasn't going to pick a team in the AFC West to go and coach against his brother twice a year. No. And I said this. I said Harbaugh is going to the NFC, and
Mm-hmm.
I picked Atlanta. I was wrong, but I
Right.
said it'd be Atlanta and New York. NFC with the team that has things that he can use for building blocks,
But
and
on
he
the
picked.
other hand, I was hearing people out here talking about, well, that's going to be an attraction for the Raiders because he will be able to play his brother 2 times a year. They thought it was a good thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
You think it's a bad thing, but there's an equal amount of people that thought that was going to get him here. No, he's not coming here. Let's go
mm-hmm.
down the list of candidates. And the candidates are, hey, they're talking about Flores, right? Getting
He's
him
going.
back in the mix.
He's going to Pittsburgh.
You think he's going to Pittsburgh? That's
Yeah,
actually a good match.
yeah,
Now, with respect to Tomlin, I understand he's under contract
yeah.
next year. So you have
No,
to get permission or pay some compensation to Pittsburgh if you want him. But you're
no.
saying no about Tomlin because
Well,
what?
for the fact is that A, you got to give up comp for Mike Tomlin. B,
Right.
I don't think that he is a fit for the players that we have and are going to be building with. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that I don't think they're going to buy into Mike Tomlin. I
Mm-hmm.
really don't. I think that the Tomlin is going to take a year off. And I thought he was going to actually coach this last year because that was the last year of his contract, and then take a
Mm-hmm.
year off and then figure it out. So he's going to take a year off and kind of survey the landscape by doing stuff on TV, making money, and then figuring out what his next option will be.
All right, let's go down the list. Vance Joseph. I'm just
No,
throwing names out here now. I heard that name. Matt
no,
Nagy,
no.
Clint Kubiak.
And that is a I think that's possibility one of two.
Right. And,
Mm-hmm.
and the next question is, before I continue this list, do we need an offensive or a defensive minded coach? Just
I'll
your
tell you
opinion.
my opinion. I'll give you two opinions in one. I'm going to give you my opinion, and then as a bonus, I'm going to give you the opinions of both Murph as well as T3 Raider Fester. I'll give you their opinions first. They want an offensive-minded young wunderkind to be the head coach, and they want a young guy off of a great tree, and that people will go, anoint him as he's the second coming of the McVay tree. And both of them want Clint Kubiak.
Yeah, and but check this out. The Raiders have only interviewed defensive coordinators so far.
Yes, but they've also I think that what they're if that's true, no, actually that's not true because they've interviewed Davis Webb, the quarterbacks coach for the Broncos.
Okay, so but the last three in, so they're pretty open,
Yeah.
right? There's not a mindset yet that says offense,
Well,
even though that's the part of the team.
my, right. Well, my opinion is, and people are screaming at me saying that I am screwed up. I would like Robert Saleh as a defensive minded head coach with, because this is the package, with a outstanding OC. First one that comes to mind is oh shit. The guy who everybody's talking about, not McDaniel, because McDaniel is the fallback.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name is now. I'm gonna call it the old man disease. The big time OC that's out of work right now. Now, please, somebody in the comment section help me out.
Kingsbury.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Brian Daboll. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. You bring Robert Saleh in with Brian Daboll, and that is a combo that I think will be excellent because Saleh is a head coach with experience. Remember, you keep saying, well, where's his experience? Where's his experience? He had experience in being screwed over in New York. So that should count double points, right?
Let me give you another perspective of Saleh. First year, Aaron Rodgers, game 1, series 1, he goes down for the year. What does Saleh decide to do, or maybe was ordered to do?
I think
Keep
it was
that
whatever.
boy Zach Wilson, not to go out on the free agent market at all. That cost him his job, of course.
But I think you caught it with the second thing that you said, ordered to do by Jets management. That's why he gets a pass.
That's a possibility.
I think so.
But he took the spanking. Okay? Somebody else did the deed, but he was ultimately blamed for that. And that's what cost him his job, the quarterback situation. Just like down in with the Cardinals head coach that got fired, he quarterback. And I believe that's one of the reasons that Tomlin eventually had to go. They never replaced Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
right?
but he's been dealing with that for several years.
Right. Even in New York, this quarterback situation, okay, has cost many a coach their job, even if it wasn't their fault.
Right.
Even if it was about injuries.
I was going to say, Peggy, name me the last really good Jets quarterback.
I want to say this guy, and he went to the Miami too.
Jack Pennington, and that's who you're thinking.
Yes, Pennington, the last one.
That's the last Jets quarterback. That was
that's really, and the Jets organization in general, their front office never demonstrated any ability to fix that quarterback position. And ultimately, that's what the problem is now.
Right.
Their quarterback position. I can't say.
And it's not going to get any better because the kid that they were earmarking to be their quarterback of the future said, I'm going to be drafted by the Jets. Oh no, I'm going to take another year in college and get better and keep my NIL money because that
could be the reason.
Oh, that's the main.
I think right now, that whole situation with coaches for the Raiders is more unique than really any other franchise because we got a problem. And our problem is 6 head coaches in 9 years. We're picking our 6th head coach in 9 years. That includes the 2 in the interim.
Wait a second, folks. I don't know what's. You know what, Money Chuck? I don't know who's asking you to do stuff. Whatever, whoever is that's getting on Money Chuck. Okay, stop it. Okay, I know you guys are my moderators, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like don't. I have no problem with Money Chuck. So if you
Hey,
guys,
my attitude is if you want to start crap and start talking and making personal remarks about people, don't sit there like and gaslight us with why is everybody picking on me? You
yeah,
make remarks, personal remarks, and then like a bitch, you want to complain about somebody. Don't do that. If you're going to put yourself out there, be ready to engage.
yeah, and
Okay.
I haven't seen all the comments, but again, I just say I'll unsubscribe.
Right.
Why? I
It's,
haven't seen
it's,
everything.
I
Just
mean, there's been some pretty sharp comments, and I feel like you just got to hang in the kitchen. You can't stand the heat, get out the kitchens.
yeah, and
Just move on.
I'll bounce somebody if I see stuff, but
Well, I think that this should be a forum for everybody to speak their mind.
yeah,
But when it comes to making personal remarks,
don't make it personal.
yeah, that's when you're asking for it. And you should get it. And if I wasn't moderating, if I wasn't on this show, you would have a second asshole, okay? Because
If,
there
if I miss something,
there is
Peggy,
a
I'm
way
sorry.
for us to talk about this. It's great. Our audience has gone along, moved the topic along. We're talking about coaches now,
Yeah.
okay? And that's the thing. You're
What
gonna
am I
bring it
talking about? Kenneth, Jack, you want to join in? I'm captain. That's Kenneth. So I'm
right,
gonna.
right, and it's just that we just don't have many of options. We're gonna have to take a young guy who's hungry.
And see, that's why. And again, I'm seeing, and I said a Murph as well as T3 Tom saying it's Kubiak, and I'm thinking, okay, and that they haven't interviewed though any of those two guys because both of those teams are playing this weekend.
Yeah,
And
and let's not forget we still got teams that are in the playoffs, and so
right,
we don't know whether there's staff on those teams that people are waiting to interview.
right.
Okay, and that's something that we'll have to do. But we're probably going to get a young, hungry guy. And the
And
thing
I
with the
don't have
young,
right, and I don't have a problem with that per se, as long as the young guy that we get is not a former defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos.
well, the other part of that, I know you're talking about Vance, but see, the other part of that
No, I'm talking about
is,
Del Rio and Dennis Allen and now Vance Joseph. That's
yeah,
three.
well, but here's the thing. When you pick a young, hungry guy that's never been a head coach before, then you got to look at the staff he's going to bring in.
Exactly. And that's why I would rather have a coach that's established or has at least done it before in Robert Saleh that knows how to pick a staff and get great people that are available, like Brian Dable,
Mm-hmm.
like Daniel, that's fired.
What is this thing with Brian Dable? Now,
I think that
tell me what has he
unless,
done?
unless you think that because got a great and yet the third one because he's still working right now is Brady, the OC for the Bills. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but of the guys that are available right now, not including Cliff Kingsbury, I am not having that shit thrown at me, Miss Peggy. No, no, no.
Well, you did say somebody who's been a head coach
I, I,
before.
I said that's available. That's not named Cliff Kingsbury. Okay.
Right, exactly.
But
But
some people, Joe Brady, like I said, Joe Brady is working right now. Depending upon what happens with the Bills, he might be available. And if
mhm,
Brady is available, then I would grab him immediately and go. And I think one of the reasons why that they actually interviewed the young kid that's the quarterback coach for the Broncos is that he is like what John Gruden was years ago when the Raiders tagged him as the head coach, although he has have offensive OC experience that Gruden had for the Eagles. He is doing a lot of the input for the plays for the young player that the Broncos have, and they're saying they're actually trying to find a wunderkind that's good for them. And that's the main reason why I think that they interviewed him, is because they said, hey, you as a head coach, I know that you might be looking for people. I would have this guy tag this guy as one of your OCs, because you got to at least upgrade his position.
And now, in the last 5 minutes, we're going to have some fun. You are the agent for the coach that the Raiders have picked.
Ooh.
What do you put in the contract? Knowing the Raiders.
Yeah, knowing the Raiders.
How they behave.
Yeah. I would say I want a minimum 3-year contract with all of that guaranteed, by the way. I don't know if that's normal fare. Mm-hmm. I would say and knowing that the Raiders are now allegedly using Spytek as the guy, because Spytek is my boss, I would say at least what is it like when you have when a husband and a wife said that I have a veto power, like every third thing I get a veto power over, you know?
You can do that, but let's be specific. You're writing a contract.
Right. Well,
Peggy, Raiders, they can't do for me. They need to do for me. Keep me happy.
You know, I
money, obviously, right?
Yeah, I mean money. I mean, but remember,
money, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, 3 years guaranteed. No, period. But I think that's a normal contract edification anyway.
All right. What else are you gonna ask for?
Wow, a veto power over. Like I said, veto power every third issue of veto power over the GM.
And go ahead.
And I would say that I need to have I'm going to have to build my staff with a great OC and DC that I bring in. That and again that I get the vetoes, because if I'm the head coach, that I get the veto over Spytek. Spytek's going to get me players, and he's going to be my boss, but I'm going to build my staff the way I want to.
All right. So hands off my staff. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Which I know fucked us last time. I get it. I know that I know where you're going with this, right? I know where you're going.
What's honestly, the main thing that you want, though?
That's it, Peggy. I'm an easy.
You want time to build. You want the Raiders.
Oh, that's what I said. The 3 year.
Not guaranteed money, because that's never stopped Mark from firing anybody.
I want
no cut. If I was able, no cut. You can't fire me for 3 years.
Yeah, you can't fire me for 3 years.
Right, no cut contract. Probably unprecedented in the history of the NFL.
Well, but with the Raiders, it would need to happen. It would need to happen.
You have to give me 3 years to build this program. After 3 years, if you're not happy, I don't care. Then you could send me packing.
I like that.
No cut, but I'm wondering how many times has it been done?
I don't think it's ever been done. Because that's why the money's always guaranteed. The money's, or maybe if you can make it hurt, like I said, this is my contract for 3 years. And I want 3 years to build this team. If you negate that contract, you pay triple what the money is as a what do you call it, as a penalty.
Right, and this is indemnification or basically buying you out. Okay,
Yeah,
now
yeah,
you're allowing them to buy this coach out. So you're saying triple, huh?
triple.
You
That
think
I
that
mean, the way
Mark?
Mark doesn't want to
Do you
want to
think that's
Mark
going
is
to
hemorrhaging.
stop Mark from firing somebody where he has to pay the coach triple the salary?
I think
Buy him
well,
out.
Mark is so pissed off about paying these guys that are not paying for him.
Just
I think
forget
what
Mark. You make bad choices, you got to pay for them. That's the end. That's business.
I
I
get
don't
you,
even
but
want to hear
if you
about it.
say
You
you
know,
got to pay me 3 times my contract, he might say, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this.
and I just don't know. But they got to give the guy 3 years. I'm sorry,
Well,
you just have to change
easy.
that trend. And that's something. This thing about firing a guy after 1 year. I mean, the whole league has been watching that.
Yeah.
The whole league. That's why we're only going to be able to get a guy in who's hungry, who wants head coaching experience. If the Raiders don't keep me, no big deal. But I want somebody that's committed to
No,
rebuilding this.
actually, a lot of our decisions were guys that should be committed.
Right. I want somebody that says, give me 3 years,
Yeah.
give you a better team at the end of that 3 years. Somebody that shows some kind of commitment to something other than the money.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we have to look at that, and I like those terms. Anyway, it's time for me to run, and I sure hope that we get to this coaching thing. In 2 weeks, we'll know. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's going to come down to after this weekend. I think that they are waiting because again, it's the Raiders sweepstakes. Kind of like the toilet bowl between the Giants and the Raiders were for the number 1 pick, and we won
Mhm.
that by losing. I
Yeah.
think whoever loses and is out of the playoffs between the Seahawks and the Niners, I think
Hmm.
that guy, either Kubiak or Salah, that's going to be our head coach.
Well, I'm going to keep my eye on those two guys and see whether they're interested in coming here. Okay.
Yeah.
See whether we can get them to come here. Spytek's got a huge job in attracting good talent to this
Mhm.
team. And we shall see how he measures up to it. It's really a Herculean job. Anyway, see y'all guys soon in 2 weeks. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hi, bye, Peggy. Great seeing you. And again, next Friday I'm on the road again. In 2 Fridays, I will be getting ready for and I want to make sure that this gets out as well. The Tom Flores nationwide tribute, which is going to be going from various organizations, various what do you call it? Folks that are going to be tuned in to pay tribute to Tom Flores. And it's very important that we do this while Tom is still with us, because what the old saying, we want to give him the flowers before he's not here to smell the flowers. So, and it's going to be one of those things where we want to make sure that we're getting together as Raider Nation. There's going to be a bunch of different organizations that are going to be putting this together. It's going to be on the 31st of January. I think that's a Saturday. I'm pretty sure it's Saturday. There's no football, so it's not going to interfere with any of the football activities. One thing I was wanting to do is because we're looking at things, because what are we watching? I mean, we got the playoffs this week, right? The possibility of the bowl. between Salah versus Kubiak. If it really is Davis Webb, and they are making this is the guy that is the young hungry guy, the John Gruden-esque pick as head coach. Al Davis hired John Gruden because Al Davis had that mind, right? Al Davis did that. There isn't anybody in the building that has that pedigree, and we'll see if who checks out. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. Again, people tell me that Robert Saleh is not a good choice. I don't know, but if Robert Saleh with a very good offensive mind, with respected coaches that are not employed because they're out of jobs presently, that's my take. Now, if you want to come in, and I say this, it's a Friday, and I appreciate everybody being here. I appreciate everybody being here. I don't know if my boy up in New England is having a show tonight or not. Jeff. I know Kenna, you can come in. Bob Stannard can come in. Ed Winchell, plenty of people here. Money Chuck could come in as well. We had a large discussion last night with, like I said, Murph and me, and Tom T3 Raider Fester, and it was. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about who's the coach, who's the staff, and what's going on. Who's the coach, who's the staff, and what are we going to do? I really do think it's going to be Mendoza. But God help, and I will agree in one thing that Derek Carr said is don't draft a young quarterback unless you provide him with the way to get around. And still, I am not throwing Fernando Mendoza under center for the first snap of the regular season. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because it shows people that we're going to do this the right way. We're going to have a coach and an OC and an offensive coach, and we're going to build and build and build. Okay? Patrick Mahomes did not start his first year. Aaron Rodgers did not start his first year. The quarterbacks that have done better over time sat and watched and got the speed. If you think, and thanks, Ed, neither did Tom Brady. So for all you guys that are saying we got our quarterback, now we're set, no, we got our quarterback, but we got to make sure we as an organization are set. So I ask you again, if you want to come into the show and discuss that, I'll wait because I'd love to see what you guys and gals have to think about that. And I don't know. I mean, I didn't know any of the I don't know what Money Chuck was talking about. Good. I'm glad to see you're still here, Chuck. I do have moderators, but you know what? There's no reason why people can't come in here and voice opinion. I'll bounce them if they're trolls. But having an opinion that's dissenting, that's not a reason why to get rid of somebody. I've learned that the hard way, making and I hate saying it, a political post on Facebook. And people were coming at me from all sides because my politics didn't align with a bunch of politics. That kind of sucked. but I have my opinion. And last time I checked, this is a nation where differing opinions are being able to be viewed. So if you want to come into the show, I will show it again. Hit the link, hit the link, hit the link. If you want to come in, please let me, if you're even thinking about coming in, please say in the comments section. And until then, I'm gonna put up a thank you from CJ for sending an extra bump. That's nice. And yeah, when I do eventually get my taxes done, because I didn't do them last year, and I got 2 years to do. I got to do it. So I think that's Kenna. Yeah, good. I'm glad to see Kenna in here. So we put somebody in for his opinion, and I want to welcome to the stage Mendoza, the #1 pick, aka Jack Kenna, friend of the show, who's who's blowing so much smoke, literally and figuratively, on the screen.
Facts, bro. Facts. How you doing, Cap?
I'm good, brother. How you doing? Yeah, good to see you.
I'm doing okay. Hanging in there, living the dream. My son's like, going for Coast Guards right now. So that man's like, he got an 89 as Met test. I'm sorry, I got a bad voice. I've lost my voice today. My son got an 88, so I'm happy and proud for him.
Good. So and I would like to hear Money Chuck, because he has a dissenting opinion. I don't know what the bullshit was in the comments, but he has very strong views, and he's a very smart cookie. So like I said, I think that if you get Mendoza, unless you get that all-star collection of linemen and you overpay for those guys, I still want them sitting until we show that we can actually protect whoever is our quarterback. And I think
I agree, bro.
Yeah,
I don't care what quarterback is here. Let it be Geno. We sign him for spend another $8-point-something million, or we have take a dead cap hit at 18 million. If Geno's not here, then it's in O'Connell. It's like I want Mendoza to sit until there's like an injury or something like that where you have to bring him in. Otherwise, this is a rebuild year. It's rebuild.
Yeah. Ooh, that's unique. They're interviewing both. So the elder Kubiak, that was the former OC for the Broncos and the OC for the Texans, his father, they're interviewing him as well. That's news to me, but thanks for that, Matt Marinovich.
Hey, Winchell, you know my last name is not Keenan. Get it right.
Yeah, ASVAB test. Yeah, I know. Yeah, ASVAB. That's great. But and no, Geno, no. And I think the reason why I think Geno has definitely played his last snap for the Raiders, and it's because of what he did when he was here. Okay. That says enough. Oh, Clay Kubiak.
Cap, I agree with you on that. It's like, but I listen like Derek Carr. I'm a big Derek Carr fan. It's like, he's looking at Geno going like, he never really got the fair shake as a whole, and his brother, just for the fact that, the offensive line was so bad. So bad. And I agree with that. I agree with both sides, but when Geno, flips off, a Raider fan, like he does YouTube and is out here with us, it's like Geno can kick cans, man. He can kick cans. It's $18 million, in dead cap hit. I'd rather see AOC 12 start next year and let Mendoza sit for a year.
For a fact check, if you are talking about the person I think you're talking about, that gentleman does not do YouTube. He is a pure Instagram glam boy.
He's a boy that shows up on a lot of chats. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. But he is not. He's not a
YouTuber.
Right. If that's who we're talking about, and you know who I think it is. So if you're saying that,
bro.
Right. So that person is not a YouTuber. He is a quote unquote. What do you call it? A pusher. There's a name for it, but somebody that pushes views. Whatever. But yeah, and that's the same. And you know what? For all the abuse that Geno Smith took from said person, I would flip him off too. It's not a good look. It's not a good look, but it was deserved by both influencer. Thank you, Mike Sarah. I knew there was a name for it. The IG person in question is an influencer. The same guy that wore that to the last game had a Mendoza 15 jersey already made up.
That's pretty cool. Actually.
I saw it. Actually, Murph has a Mendoza 15 jersey that he is buying. So it's out there. But I will not give any credence to any young people. The last I bought a Max jersey, and I said I won't buy any more people that are current Raiders, because every time I get one, they go away. I got guys that were on their last portions of their contract, and I got them at a discount, i.e. Jacobs and Waller. I got them at the Raider image, and I'm going to make a Waller jersey, a Hendricks jersey, as soon as I can find somebody that can give me a name tape. That's the way it is.
Yeah, Ed Winchell, sent me a picture on eBay for an auto frame jersey. So thank you, Ed, for that. And, I'm still working on that deal right now.
That one, like the one that's standing up above me.
Well, I can't see it. Show it. Oh, it's a little bit different.
You can see it, right?
It's a black jersey. Dude, I love that cap. And Ed, thank you for saying that to me, dude. It's like I'm still trying to get his ass to go out to Bakersfield next year.
Yeah. Well, you guys can go to Bakersfield. Just saying. I'm not going to Bakersfield in August at 115 degrees. Not doing it. And by the way, that's not the only auto jersey I have. I have a signed auto jersey from the original jersey with the 50 that looks like an old Steeler jersey.
Oh, Matt, you got one too? Nice, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mike Sarah, I agree with this. I don't care if he's under contract. Geno Smith is gone. They will take his cap hit, and they'll designate him a post June 1st cut. They'll eat some this on 26, and they'll eat some in 27, and that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, he needs to go.
Yeah, no, don't buy any current players, Mike. That's I like I said.
Yeah, don't buy any current players. But I see 12. It's like for next year. It's like, yeah, I could see him riding the ship. Just for this next year. Not going to say it's going to do any good, so we get more draft picks, but let Mendoza sit.
And that's the way it should be done. That's the way it should be done. Build that offensive line. Build the people that are there. Get a true number one wide receiver. I mean, I think we got it. I think we got the makings of a good wide receiver core with Besh and Tucker and Thornton. I really do. And actually Jackson, maybe. I mean, maybe we get some use of Jackson as that guy. But Tucker or in Kenneth speak, Trucker. See, I remember.
I always say Trucker, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, if you get Tucker in there with the Thornton and Besh, Jackson, that's not a bad start. And then if you get a, and even Peggy was saying that the way that we played Pegues and Hemingway the last couple games, we were giving them snaps and they were doing well. So we just need to continue to do that. And I want to see Rodgers and Grant as a stalwart members of the offensive line with JPJ and Glaze and get rid of Kappa, get rid of, I don't want to see Alex Kappa ever again.
Gone.
Ever.
Gone. Save that $5 million, and pay it to someone else. And Grant, Cap, you said, Grant. I was big on him from day one. It's like from William and Mary. It's like, he's got a nasty streak to him. He got such a limited amount of time to play, but he looked good. He looked good in that limited amount of time. Like Pete Carroll, who's the biggest non-compete person I've ever seen, he should have been playing for a long time, before then, just to see what we had. So we know. But we don't know with Grant. The short period of time is like he looked good, but we don't know.
Well, I mean, the entire year that Grant and Rodgers had is a throwaway year, and include Lakitasi in that. You get a real offensive line
big guy, smash guy.
You get a real offensive line coach in there to actually teach and inform. There's nothing but up for those guys. And then you draft, and people were saying that there's this kid from Alabama that's like 6'7" and 3, or there's the Magua from was it Miami, that the other tackle UM is 6'9" and 3 bills, and he's a diamond in the rough, so it can be done. We got pieces we need to get through free agency and another draft and build that, and then put Mendoza behind that after he has adjusted or at least seen the NFL speed, and that line gels to a legitimate line. Okay. And yes, Colton Miller is our left tackle as of now. But you know what? I think Colton Miller, this is his last year, whether contract or not. I think that he's about ready to hang him up. And it's because he's been playing not with chips on his shoulder, but he's been playing with chipped shoulders, shall we say, for the last couple of years. He's a walking hospital space. And that's,
Kat, I hope you're wrong with that. Colton Miller, he's been a stalwart of this offensive line since the time he was brought in. When the Raiders traded back, from number 10 to number 15, and got an extra third-round draft pick, it was like a McClinchy, for Denver. And, they got Colton Miller. It's like, I hope he keeps staying. He's been a stalwart of the team. I can understand if he wants to go and retire. I can understand that. He's been in the league for a long time. But, he's been one of our best, if not the best offensive lineman we've had over the last decade. So I hope he stays. And I don't believe what Tom said. It's like he's not going to be the swing tackle because, who are you to get out to play over him next year? Sorry, it's not going to happen. He's got one more year, and I think then they'll bring in someone else, or a Grant maybe can go over there, or maybe a Grant can play right tackle. I don't know, and then move DG Glaze to right guard. And I do like
See, I think
talking.
that's going to happen. I think Glaze is going to go over to right guard. I see Grant playing right tackle. I see Miller starting at left tackle. I see JPJ playing left guard.
Yep.
And I see the Raiders either bringing in Linderbaum, or if they, God forbid, they can't get Linderbaum, they draft Slaughter or some really, really good center, or maybe the number 2 free agent center. And come on in, Money Chuck, when you're done, because Kenneth's going to be here for a little bit, but I'd love to hear from you too.
Yeah, the Raiders need, to go out and get 2 free agent, offensive linemen.
Yeah.
And Linderbaum. So, Sacktown, thank you. I did say Creed Humphrey last night on a different show. I'm so entwined with the AFC, West.
AFC West. Well, is Creed Humphrey available? I thought he was
No, he's not. He's not. He's Kansas City center. He's a great center. But Linderbaum is that guy. So Linderbaum's like 25 years old. Yeah. You got to overspend. You're going to have to pay him almost around Max Crosby money, about $30 million to get the guy. Get him. And then get a right tackle. And, we'll see what's going to happen. We look at what the Bears have done. We look at what the Patriots have done.
Right, the Patriots for sure.
You pay that money for a good offensive lineman, and you bring in a young quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's why I was telling Peggy. I said it can happen in 1 year. You can do it in 1 year. And Chuck, I see you back there, Chuck. Well, I'll bring you in when Jack's done. So I got you back there. You're ready to go.
Bring Chuck in at the same time, just so I can say hi, and then I'll go.
Okay. Okay, because I hate 3 screen. I hate 3 screen.
I know you do. What's up, Chuck? Chuck,
go ahead, Chuck. Chuck, you're on.
I don't think he hears us.
Chuck, you're on.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Okay, yeah. Maybe
hey,
there's
what's up, brother?
Bit of a lag. How you doing, brother?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, bro. I just want to say hello before I hop off.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Let me turn on my TV here. Hold on for a second.
Right. Yeah. There is a lag. Whatever you have on, turn off so that you are getting.
I can't hear you guys.
Okay. Turn off your TV then. Okay, wait a sec. Okay, no. He'll be back on. Bro. He'll be back on. But yeah, give me your best out the door, Jack.
All right. So, Winchell, I'm going to call you when I get off the show tonight. So, I hope we get to talk. And Cap, man, it's like when I hear Raider Nation saying, "Okay, we're going to trade this pick." I ask the same question over and over and over. What would you need to give up this number 1 overall pick? For me, it's 4 first-round draft picks to get it. Otherwise, I'm taking Mendoza. Man, did you watch the game? Oregon and Indiana. Mendoza,
I watched it.
He was spot on. To me, he reminds me of Joe Burrow.
Yeah, you're on, Money. We got you in a second there, Chuck.
I'm not getting any sound from you guys on my phone.
Chuck, can you hear me?
Yeah, then you got some audio issues.
I can hear you guys, but I can't hear the conversation on the phone.
Well, don't worry about that. If you can hear us in studio, that's all you care about. is what you can hear live through
Hey,
here.
what's up, Robert Pena? Hey, Robert, when are you coming out in March, bro? Hit me up.
Okay, maybe a little bit delayed.
Yeah. I was going to say, Jack's going to leave. Maybe that'll do whatever you got that is interfering. I would just, if you can hear me right now in studio, that's all you worry about, and worry about the other things later.
All right, Money Chuck, salute. Cap, salute. Nation, salute.
Okay.
Have a good night, brothers.
All right. Take care there, Jack. All right. Chuck, you're on, like I said, and I don't know what the conversation was, that you were steamed at. I don't know. I didn't have everything, so that's fine. But I don't like to lose people because they offer a different opinion.
So I'll go ahead and tell you what set me off. You know, I've recently learned about Peggy. She's a historian and super fan. I've come to respect her opinion. You know, I wouldn't debate with somebody, you know, who I think is an idiot. That lady clearly isn't. But you know what? I'm 54 years old. I've been to football games all my life, watched football all my life, played football in college, and then then your moderator Ed gets on here and says, "Oh, you know, this person knows more football than you, and this and that." You know, I haven't lived this long and spent this much time on these shows and invested as much capital, as much money as I have to not know what I'm talking about. These are opinions, and we're all fans, basically.
Right.
And it's just a kick in the balls to have your moderator get on here and say, "Oh, this person knows more football than you," blah 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 blah.
Okay. Well, again, that's his opinion. Since we're talking about opinion, and as long as he's allowed, you're voicing your opinion. Peggy's voicing her opinion, and you know, when I disagree with Peggy, I let her know what my opinion is, but I at least listen to her, or I at least try to listen to what she has to say, because sometimes I got to talk over her, but I do want to hear what she has to say. But yeah, Kenna knows stuff, you know stuff, Peggy knows stuff, I know stuff, and other people do know stuff. So I don't want anybody to ever walk. There are people that don't watch this show anymore because I've gotten into a spitting contest with them, per se, over views, and they said, "Well, fuck you, I'm not watching anymore, I'm not participating anymore." It hurts, but that's just the way it is. I can't do anything about that. But I would rather not lose you to that fracas. But yeah, your opinion is, and
Jack,
and
we disagreed with JPJ, you know, about playing center and guard. You know, the words that'll never come out of my mouth about you is that you don't know football, brother. I mean, clearly you do.
well, actually, the funny thing is that when I walked off the show that Kenna was on for me, I walked off that show because one of their people said to me in no uncertain terms, "You don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And that pissed me off so bad that I walked off and never came. And actually, well, I walked off with a Tourette's laden, you know, machine gun of flying F-bombs, which was kind of uncool. But I was so mad at this person, I said, "Don't ever tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about." Okay. It might be of a differing opinion than you. And by the way, I had him by about 30 or 40 years of, you know, age and knowledge. So you can take that from what is well. I'm not saying that I'm always right. I'm not always right, but at least I do know what I'm talking about and can voice an opinion. So don't ever let anybody say that you don't know what you're talking about. So I appreciate that, Chuck, for saying that. And even Bob Navman was saying, you know what you're talking about.
Can I address the point that I was trying to make to Peggy?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So she talked about having to get a wide receiver first and build an offensive line. There's been a lot of NFL teams that had a lot of holes that had the first, number one overall pick for that reason, that have taken their quarterback and built around them. I don't see too many teams that have followed the format that she's suggesting. Now, it's been done before, and it's been done with success. But overall, I'm sure if I really dug into it, I don't think there's too many teams that build themselves that way. We're the number one overall pick for a reason, because we have a lot of holes, and I've never seen a number one team without a lot of holes. Having said that, Fernando Mendoza, that's a unique quarterback. Look how many touchdowns that guy has compared to incompletions. He's got a cerebral mind. He's got superior ball placement skills. He's dropping dimes at key moments, winning games. What more do we have to see to have some faith that he's a viable number one pick?
I think that you got, and maybe I was listening, and what I heard her say is that we need to have a true number one wide receiver. That I agree with. We need to have a true number one wide receiver. I don't think that she said, and maybe I was wrong, but I don't think she said that we first need to get a true number one wide receiver, which I agree with, and build the line, which I agree with. But we do have to address those things first. And I think that what she's saying is, by addressing the line and a number one wide receiver, is that you get that a viable number one wide receiver in free agency and not necessarily the draft. I think that might be the disconnect.
I get you, and I get what she's saying. Jack, we've got the number one overall pick. This is the second time in history that we've ever had it. We're sitting here, we're sitting in this place with a very unique and gifted quarterback at our disposal. Everybody seems to think that, I'm saying that the majority of quarterbacks are going to fail if you pick them high. Statistically, from what I've researched, it's been the opposite. There's been a lot of good quarterbacks taken in the top 10, and the majority of them, I'm saying, as opposed to those that have been picked in later rounds, have had more success.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I think this is the third time, because I think the first time it was Roman Gabriel, and then it was Jamarcus, and then it was this pick, as far as the number one. So I think it's the third time. I know that Mark Wilson was taken in the first round, but not number one. And I know that Marinovich was taken in the first round, but not number one. So I think those are at least the 5 first round quarterbacks that were taken. And actually, technically, the other one is Eldridge Dickey, that was taken in 68 when Stabler was taken in round 2. So that's 6 of the quarterbacks that were taken, or if we're counting Mendoza.
God, I've never even heard of Eldridge Dickey before.
Oh, yeah, Eldridge Dickey was a black quarterback that I believe was the first black quarterback taken in the first round. And the Raiders, he went to, I might be mistaken, I think he went to Grambling, and he was a fantastic quarterback from, Grambling, his HBCU, historically black colleges. And Al Davis took him, and he basically moved him to, I think he moved him to wide receiver. He didn't pan out. as a quarterback in '68, but now it was Dickey. It was in round 1, and then Stabler was round 2. Actually, Ed, look, no, we've had it's Roman Gabriel was number 1, Jabustis was number 1, and now our pick this year is number 1. Those are the times that we've had the number 1 picks in the draft. But look it up. But yeah, go ahead there, Chuck.
Okay. Oh, I think I've said my piece. Unless you have any other questions for me, I'm gonna beat Pete.
Yeah, I do got a question for you because we're all talking about the first pick. Who do you want as the head coach?
I definitely want an offensive-minded coach. Kubiak, LaFleur, and who's that passing coordinator again for the Denver Broncos? I can see him being our offensive coordinator.
Davis. It's either Davis Mills or maybe that's the quarterback for the Wade Davis. I know there's a Davis in his name. He's a former quarterback that is the passing game coordinator for the Broncos.
Wait, right.
Yeah. And if we went out on a limb and said that
right, those are my 2 leading candidates. It would be Kubiak and LaFleur.
Davis Webb. Thanks, Mike. Sarah. Davis Webb, and Davis Webb is a former quarterback. I don't remember. I think Sarah didn't he play? Well, Davis Webb played at Cal, perhaps. I remember or Stanford. I'm not sure, but yeah, Davis Webb is a former quarterback, and now he's the passing game coordinator for the Broncos.
I'm especially excited about Kubiak because he values the run game. And if you value the run game, you're going to have to address those trenches.
Yes. Yeah. At least we got a solid running back. We just need to get, running, offensive linemen that are great at running and passing. Blocking, I should say. Run blocking and pass blocking. So, obviously, offensive linemen have a niche. They're either – because as an offensive lineman, I preferred run blocking. I was better at run blocking than I was at pass blocking. And it's because as a run blocker, you are attacking and you're moving forward and you're moving people and shucking them the right way or putting your head on the right area where they have to go through you and your head to get to the running back. As a pass blocker, you are giving up ground. And you're defeating yourself. You're giving up ground, right? So I always preferred the run block, but you got to be at least adept at both. Maybe you're better at one over the other, but they need to at least have an offensive line that does well in both to a degree where our running game is better and our passing game. Got to give our quarterback, whoever it may be. And that's why I said, I don't want I don't want Mendoza out there on the first snap of the season. I don't. I want him to learn behind Aiden O'Connell, who's actually kind of like him. He's a big, strong kid that can throw the ball downfield and he can make good passing downfield. Aiden O'Connell is not fleet of foot. So that's one thing that Mendoza has over him is that Mendoza can move and can move out. But Aiden O'Connell is a pure pocket passer, and I think that would be a great person for Mendoza to learn behind.
Another thing I want to say about the offensive line and Pete really put us at a disadvantage by not playing Rodgers and Grant earlier.
Yes,
we're short on depth. You know what I'm saying? Which compels me, to think that in free agency as well as the draft, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have to draft linemen. But we really don't know what we have in those guys. I mean, I saw flashes of promise, but it just there wasn't enough tenure to really get a good evaluation on him.
True, I agree with that. But out from the fits and spurts that I saw, when they were afforded the opportunity, they're going to make mistakes. They're rookies. They're going to make mistakes. But I liked what I saw in their limited participation. I liked what I saw in Laki Tassi's limited participation because the kid is from Australia or he's a Asian Pacific Islander who played, rugby. And it's like, see person, move person, get person out of the fucking way. And he did that well in the preseason. Granted, he was going up against third string and fourth string guys, but he was manhandling people. So if you give him technique and you teach him technique, that is a great asset to have. We were talking yesterday about Dalton Wagner. The kid's like 6'7" and 3 bills and has the physical traits to be a very good tackle. His problem is that he has feet of clay. He's not good in movement. Laki Tassi is big, strong, and can fucking move. So if you build up his technique, he would be a great asset to have on that line. So I'm just waiting for that to happen.
I agree with you about Tassi. He's a rugby player. At the very least, he knows how to push people around in a frickin' pile. Why weren't we using him on short yardage situations, or at least as a utility role? Maybe bringing him in as an extra tight end. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even getting as creative and being a fullback or something. But with his size, his strength, and his background, we should have been using him at some points, and the guy shouldn't have been sitting on the practice rod, considering how anemic our offensive line was.
No, I agree. And blame Brendan Carroll and his father for he didn't suit up for any games. He was a non-suited person. He didn't play any games at all. And that was because the coaching staff on the offensive portion, Brendan Carroll, that fucktwad, didn't teach him anything. And that was a waste of him being there. He didn't learn anything. And then also the fact that Rodgers and Grant didn't get any learning done because Brendan Carroll didn't do any of that. And it was a wasted year for everybody that was on that staff, on that field or in that room because they didn't learn anything. And it's unfortunate.
Right. Captain, I got to go let the dog out and I got to go do some things, but I appreciate your show and I had no personal attacks against Peggy. She definitely knows football. She's an intelligent mind. She's got a different perspective. I'm debating with her because I find her formidable and intelligent.
Oh yeah. She's formidable. And I say this, and I spoke with her. She is somebody that you will look silly if you say something stupid, and she puts you in your place. If you say something stupid because she knows the history and she knows what she's talking about, she will make you look stupid. That's true. Go ahead, sir.
I want to say this. I hate to bring gender into it, but we need some more female fans like her. That lady kicks ass. Yeah.
Oh, I agree. And I used to do a show with before I was doing a show with Peggy. I did a show with a female Raiders fan that didn't know shit. I would say that she didn't know dick, but that's just not the right tense of things. She knew dick, but she didn't know shit about the Raiders. and I'm just going to leave it at that. So when I did the show with Peggy And then I did it. It was originally it was three ladies. So it was Peggy and Angria and Kevlar. I'm brain farting her name. Three gals and myself. It went from three gals to two gals to Peggy and me. And it's unfortunate because their schedules became up to a point where they couldn't participate. But I enjoy having the female voice of experience and knowledge to impart. Go ahead, sir.
I'll say one more thing. So I watched an Amy Trask interview about a week ago, and Peggy and Amy are on the same page. And believe me, I'm not going to sit here and say that Amy Trask doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. Yeah,
True. Yeah, no, Amy Trask definitely knows what the fuck's going on. I had a shouting match with Bob because Bob was
thanks
saying
for
that
the
Amy,
opportunity.
yeah, Bob was saying that Amy Trask was on the Raiders payroll, and I'm like, oh no, she is not. Oh yeah, she is. Yeah, I said no, she isn't. Then it's because I've done interviews with Amy Trask, and Amy Trask is not on the Raiders payroll. She knows things, but she's not on our payroll. And Mike, I'll address that after Chuck comes out. But yeah, and I agree with that. Amy Jim Gray.
I'm gonna bail. I just want to let you know that I respect you, Captain. I've come to like you. I like your East Coast attitude. I'm a New York boy myself. I believe me. I've been to Philadelphia plenty of times, and I know those people. You're spot on with that culture, brother.
No, except I don't eat shit literally. Like Philly fans. So I might be a Philly baseball fan and a Philly Flyer fan, but I don't literally eat horse shit for celebration of winning what the NFC title game or whatever. But anyway, sir, I appreciate you coming in, and it's always a pleasure.
All right, I'm gonna back out. I'll let somebody else on. You guys take it easy.
You got it. Thanks again, there, brother. You be well. That was Chuck, and it's always a pleasure for him to be here. Or sorry, it's always a pleasure for him to come in. The argument, Amy does know her shit. She was in the building. Definitely more than some people make it out to believe. So she's an insider in that respect. If you want to come into the show, I am clocking out at 2 hours. I am clocking out at 2 hours so I can use this. Yeah, and I was gonna say Chuck is a good OG. I agree with that. I'm clocking out at 2 because, well, hell, it's gonna be 9 o'clock, and I got shit to do on Friday. And I did have the Friday show. It's looking like I'm gonna have a show with Peggy and maybe even China, hopefully coming in for the shows as well on Fridays to be. So if I'm not on the road, we'll do that. But I will be back on Sunday. On Sunday, we might have a little bit more of an inkling of what's going on. I heard that somebody said that Kubiak and then his brother, it sounds like both Kubiaks. I'm like, what? Gary Kubiak? I didn't know. I didn't see anything, but thank you for acknowledging that. If his brother is all that in a biscuit, then yeah, bring him on. Because there needs to be, and I think, I can't remember who it was that was saying, it might have been Bob, it might have been Tom, that we need people that have a fresh college view of fresh ideas for offense. So, not Gary, but Clint Kubiak, I like where the lineage is, between his father and him being on the McVay tree. And yeah, LaFleur would be great too. If we're going that route. LaFleur or Kubiak, I'll go with. But if not, then I say bring in Robert Saleh and give me an offensive guy. Give me, Brian Dable. Bring me not Cliff Kingsbury. Oh, no. But give me Dable, give me McDaniel, or give me Brady if he gets fired. So that's it. I'm gonna be here in Sunday. I got my non-Raider things on. I'm dressed in Harley orange today. Gotta spice it up. Bob, okay, quickly because I want to be out. In about 5 minutes. So hopefully we can get you in here, and then I can actually have a show that is 2 hours or less. So I can actually cut some links. Because Angelo does me links. So there's the link right there. And right now you got about 5 minutes. If I want to do cut-ups. And if it gets where we got a good conversation going, that's fine too. But at least I want to try. So there we're gonna have Navman come in. There he is. Navman from the United States of America. I like that. I like that backdrop. How you doing there, sir? Good to see you.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
That's good. By the way, if you see was it whiskey? It was the gentleman that said he was going to get with me and send me his information, and I gave him my email address. I never heard from Whiskey Country.
Who?
Whiskey Country. It was a couple shows ago. Idea. It was a couple shows ago. I owe him something. I need to send to him from a couple Super Bowls ago. And I want to send him stuff, but I need his address. Yeah,
I have no idea who that is.
Probably Mike. Yeah, it's definitely going to go over 2 hours. Okay. Most captains should be on the. Oh, we already have Grant Rogers. I get it. Yeah. Our cap. I mean, overspend on Linderbaum. Give me the best offensive tackle available. I mean, I will say that. Fester is really high on Rasheed Walker. I saw him play. He ain't bad. Packers are out of the playoffs now. I need to, and I'm not a film guy. I don't study film. I'm not one of these guys that do shit for the draft and say, this guy, I saw this film and blah, 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 blah. That's not me. I don't do it. There are plenty of guys that do it, and I listen to their opinion because I'm
one of those dudes.
Yeah, what, that does film?
Yeah. I'm that guy.
Okay, well then good. When we have a draft show, you and Angelo and Fester, if he wants to. Well, Fester's going to be at the draft, but want to do and cut ups. Great, that's good. Hey,
well,
Rob,
I will tell you, we're going to see two of the best defensive ends coming out of the draft in the national championship game for Miami. I'm just saying that they're probably the two best defensive ends in this coming draft. Those dudes, Ruben's freaking stud. That dude is a freaking stud. So I will tell you, this is not going to be a national championship game that is going to be IU running over them. It's not going to be this. IU's going to win this ball game. There's no question in my mind. The offense is just way better. And but I will tell you what, these two defensive ends, they are game changers. And so that is two dudes that I would be looking at if I wasn't the Raiders. Because I'm telling you what, no matter what we're thinking, no matter what we're saying, Cap, shipmate, Mendoza's our freaking pick. It doesn't matter who our head coach is going to be. Doesn't matter. None of that shit. Mendoza is a Raider. That's already a done deal. I just don't think that there's any. I mean, give me 4 first rounders starting second, third, and fourth on this draft. Yes, maybe, but I just don't. When the dude is there, you get the dude. You know, it's and it's one of those where it's like, look, everybody says, man, you're a freaking Mendoza fucking lover. I'm like, dude, I grew up in Indiana. This freaking program's never had shit. This one guy has made it what it is. Him and Signetti. And here's the other thing. I want freaking Tom Brady to call Signetti, not interview him for the job, interview him to say, hey, man, what do I need to do to make, what do I need to do? What else do I need to do in the draft for him? Just invite him down for go on a boat, hang out, shit like that. You know what I mean? Just like, I just want to know what you think is going to get him freaking ready to go. I guess it's kind of dumb for me to think that way, but it's like, I don't care who our head coach is going to be. I really don't. Do I care? Yes, I care. But I mean, I was gonna
call you that. I know you care.
Oh, I care. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think it has to be this guy or that guy. I think it needs to be freaking young head coaches that know how to freaking push ahead in the NFL, and also know how to develop college quarterbacks. I'm going to tell you, Mendoza's already above a lot of these kind of quarterbacks like Caleb Williams. When he came into the league last year, he had no fucking idea what he was doing. Zero. Now he has a coach that pushes him in the right direction, right? So,
right.
I mean, but the thing is, Caleb Williams didn't have the kind of like mind that Mendoza has. He's a thinker, dude. He is constantly thinking football. You know what I mean? There's nothing else in his world but football. So it's kind of like, I don't see us. I will tell you this. If the Raiders do not select Mendoza number 1, I will be completely blown the fuck away. So, I mean, I just don't see it happening any other way. And Mike McDaniel as an OC would be freaking amazing, as Ardell just said. That would be amazing. So there's only a couple head coaches that have been fired that are actually going to be head coaches again. One of them is already Harbaugh. Harbaugh is the Giant coach. There's another one, Mike Tomlin. He's not going to coach next year. I don't think he's going to coach. I think he's going to take a year, maybe 2 off, maybe not even come back ever again. So so we can stay off of that shit. Kubiak would be, to me, the ultimate, yes, let's grab that dude, and then let's bring Dayball in as the OC behind him. That would be pretty fucking cool, wouldn't it? Kubiak
and
Dayball, and then DC, if you could get him to laterally move, Brian Flores.
No, don't even go there. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get any DC to go laterally unless he's out.
I agree.
But I'm just saying,
tell you they're not going to laterally move.
Right.
I'm the first one to tell you lateral movement is not happening.
No, I'm just saying, unless the DC is not employed, if the
Right.
DC is not employed, then you can get somebody who said, we want you as the defensive coordinator. But if he's under
Right.
contract, you can't get him to go laterally.
No. Agreed. 100%. No. But I'm telling you, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
Well,
I mean,
who do you have in mind? Who do you have in mind to be that guy to go laterally DC?
Lateral to DC, none. I don't think any of them would do lateral. But I will tell you that Evero in the Panthers has done more with less in the last 2 years than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And Evero
he was interviewed
would laterally roll. He would.
Yeah, I think.
Roll.
Yeah, but I think he came. If I was not mistaken, I think he was one of the people that was either asked to interview or did interview for the job.
Yeah, he did.
But what is his contract status? If he's not under contract, so you don't know his contract. So he's no longer employed by
he has no
the Panthers, I should say.
No, he was a defensive assistant last year for the Panthers, and he was just brought in interim 1 year at a time. So
okay, so he's available as a DC if he's not under contract.
A free agent. Basically a free agent. Yes.
Okay. And you're talking about bringing in the band, Pat Coggan at center. If that's one you can do.
I look, Coogan, great center. Don't get me wrong. Trust me. I watch Hoosier football all year long. Coogan is a great center. He communicates well. One thing that JPJ doesn't do well as a center.
Right.
Coogan.
Right.
He does that well. But he's not big. He's not big enough. Yet. He can be. But that's not someone you would freaking grab in the second round. You get that guy in the third.
Yeah, and that's fine.
You should if he's there. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I think there are a couple players on IU that actually bring more attention to me outside of Mendoza. Surratt is one of them that brings a lot of attention as a wide receiver. He's a freaking beast. That dude ain't scared of nothing. And that would be one that you could probably get third, fourth round as well. Even though probably going to be a national champion, I don't see Miami beating IU. Based on the teams that IU's already destroyed. So I just don't see that happen. I see it as closer game, but I don't think it's going to be. I think IU wins the national championship. There's no question in my mind on that. But it's one of those where you're kind of like, okay, well, if you bring Mendoza, so what I would say would be this. The Raiders reach out to Mendoza and say, hey, which dudes on this team do you want us to draft? I certainly think Coogan would be one of them. His center. There's no question. And then Surratt would be the other one. Maybe Stoker, because that dude, it's kind of like freaking Brock Bowers, but a wide receiver size. You know what I mean? And so it's they do not have a single 5-star player on that team. And they're dominating like this. So you have to ask yourself, why? Why are they doing that? You'd be an idiot in the Raiders front office if you did not call Signetti and say, hey, let's have a sit down and get some dinner in Las Vegas. Tell me
Right.
what's making him
actually Bishop was saying, well, Bishop on the show either last night or the night before was saying, book it. They're bringing in Signetti and his staff. I'm like, no, they are not. As far as coaches.
Yeah.
No, he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. And
80 million, 10 years, if 10 years, 80 mil. I mean, come on.
Right. If you have maybe somebody on that staff that is not of the, that is not the OC or is like an offensive assistant, right? Or a defensive assistant that is worthy of getting his chops in the NFL, then you might look at bringing him in as a, offensive assistant or a defensive assistant for the Raiders, providing you can sell that to whoever the head coach is. Right. Great. But there's Nettie and his OC and his DC are not coming to the Raiders at those positions. And he's saying, and Bishop's like, book it. I'm like, dude, I bet you $10 that's not happening.
I'm pretty sure I told him, I said, that ain't happening.
It ain't happening. And it's like, I'll bet money. I don't. And Bishop's like, I don't bet. I'm like, okay, well then stop saying stupid shit.
But I will tell you something. Signetti loves Mendoza, right? Both Mendozas. His little brother too, by the way.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Right.
He's next.
Who's going to be playing?
So little brother's next.
Quarterback.
Little brother's next. And little brother's actually a little bit more mobile than big brother. Just so you know.
Right, because he's not as big as his brother, right?
But you'd be stupid not to make the phone call saying, hey, look, we are seriously gonna freaking grab Fernando. I need to have a sit down with you. Tell me what makes him tick. What makes him tick for sure. I want to know. If Brady and freaking Spytek don't make that phone call, they're the stupidest people ever. Tell me what makes him tick. Tell me what do I need to do? What do I need to put in front of them? What do I need to, you know what I mean?
Let me ask that. I mean, honestly, you're going to get that at Indianapolis at the combine, or you're going to get that at the pro day. If you're focused in on Fernando Mendoza, you're going to get the one-on-one interview with the coach and with the player at the combine and at the pro day.
If it's available to you, is Mendoza even going to do the combine? Why would he?
Well, but here's the thing.
I would.
If the Raiders have, well, wait a second. If the Raiders have the number 1 pick and they're going to his pro, would you not think that they're going to get availability with Fernando Mendoza?
That's absolutely right. What I'm saying is that's his sit down has to happen.
Right. And I think that's going to happen then. It's going to happen at his pro day.
Right, it can. But I'll tell you what. But would be even better is an invite to Vegas for Signetti.
I'm not saying that that's not a bad idea, but I'm just saying right after the national, that's a good idea, but it might not happen.
Right after the national championship game, win or lose, hey, Signetti, let's come out to Vegas, man. Bring the wife. We're going to come out and have a good time. we're definitely in the position to take Mendoza. I just want to pick your brain a little bit before all of this craziness happens. That, to me, that's the way you would operate that. To me.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. That will probably happen if you don't want people to drum up the cost of that pick. If you're the Raiders and you're not fishing, I mean, wouldn't you fish for like you said, the 4 or 5 number ones, like you were talking about? You got to see what the value is. I don't think they take. I mean, personally, wait, Bob, let me finish. I don't think that they personally take that, but they're probably going to go and say, well, what's it worth to you, New York Giants? What's it worth to you, whoever else needs a quarterback? Because right now,
the Giants don't.
The Jets.
Giants don't.
I'm sorry, not the Giants. Not the Giants. The Jets. New York Jets. Right. I apologize. Wrong New York team. What's it worth to you, Jets? What's it worth to you, Pittsburgh? What's it worth to you? Pick somebody else who needs a quarterback, Miami. Okay. Pick one of those teams and then say, okay, what are you giving us for that?
I mean, it's worth the phone call. But I mean, this is actually one of those.
I thought Mendoza was from Miami. He ain't from Boston.
What?
He lived in Miami as a kid.
No,
He's
grew
from
up
Miami.
in Miami.
Yeah. He grew up in Miami. He grew up right across from where the friggin' Hurricanes are practicing.
Like
he's going
he
home.
Even said it was like a mile away.
Game.
The stadium was a mile away from his house. Yeah. I mean,
okay, I got you. Born in Boston, but you know what? Al Davis was from Brockton, but we know him. We know that Al Davis. When you think Al Davis, you think of Brooklyn, not Brockton. You think of Brooklyn.
I was born in Indiana. I'm a Raiders fan, so I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I get what you're saying, but and folks, Bob, I'm probably gonna beg out in about like 5 minutes because I actually want to do something.
Well,
I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you coming on. But yeah,
I love the fact that I'm here. Love you, no shit. But I'm telling you, Mendoza's gonna be the Raiders' #1 pick. There is no question in my mind. When the guy's there, you got to get the guy.
Okay.
The dude.
Then let me ask you the important question.
Here, hold on. Can I finish? You asked me.
Yes.
You said, I'm talking, and I said, okay.
Okay, I'm letting you finish. Go ahead.
So here's the thing. The dude wins always. He always wins. He thinks right. He does right. He is a leader. And he's a freaking stud. When you have that dude available to you, you draft that dude. It's just that simple. When it's that dude, you gotta get that dude. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, well, at least you went and got the dude.
Okay, well, see, now that leads to my question, Bob. Okay, you draft the dude, but I don't want the dude playing for the first snap of the 2026 season. I don't.
Me either. I don't either.
I don't want him. Thank you. That was it's like, I want him to learn and get the speed and then come in when it's good for the Raiders and for him.
I'd like to see him get, if it's one of those seasons where you're kind of winning, you're not winning, whatever, every now and then, Sprinkle him in
Yeah.
and see what he does. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That kind of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I
love it.
don't want to subject him. Yeah. I don't want to subject him to, unless that offensive line is fixed. Why fuck with his future?
Yes. No. And the thing is, Brady has said it over and over again. You don't do that shit. You do not bring a rookie quarterback in and throw him in the freaking fire. Brady has said that shit. But Brady has also said, love Mendoza. Love this fucking guy. And so I'm telling you, Raider Nation, Mendoza 15, Raiders, book it. It's happened. I do not see any other way it's not happening. So you can put it on me if it doesn't happen, but damn it, it's gonna be Mendoza. I don't see any other way. Especially Dante Moore going back to college. Why did he do that? Because he got his ass kicked by fucking Mendoza. That's why.
No, he also figured out that if he was coming out this year, he was guaranteed to go to the New York Jets. And what a mistake would be. Right. And by the way, right. he does need another year of seasoning, but unfortunately, they might have the number 1 pick next year. But at least he will get a year of seasoning.
But it'll be Arch Manning. But it'll be Arch Manning next year.
I tell you what, if Moore gets better, it could be him and Manning fighting for that number 1 spot.
So here's my prediction for the NCAA coming out next year. 1 and 2 in the nation, probably Texas and Oregon. More than likely. That'd be my guess. The number 1, number 2 in the nation before any game start would be my guess. So, and Texas A&M probably 3rd in the top 5, something like that. So, but I mean, that quarterback class coming out next year is good, but shit, they haven't won anything. Nobody has. None of them have. So you look at Mendoza, this motherfucker come in and freaking resurrected a fucking dead, 100-year dead program and has them in a national championship. Come on, bro. Come on. He's that dude. They have 1 5-star recruit. His name is Surratt. And a wide receiver. Okay. So it's like, come on, man. You got to throw in coaching too. Got to throw in coaching.
And see, that's the important thing is coaching. Yes. You can have all of the intangibles in the world. You can have all the moxie in the world. You can have all the physicality in the world. You can have all the intelligence in the world. You can have all the mechanics in the world. But if you don't have the coaches to teach you, to make you better, you just become a Jeff George.
Yep.
There's another end of the boy.
Yeah.
A Jeff George.
Went to Andy, though. Went to Andy first.
That doesn't amount to shit.
Indy was the Jets back then, though. They didn't develop quarterbacks either. So but I will say this.
Yeah.
I will say this.
Go ahead.
My dream thought of this is Kubiak, we hire him. But obviously that's going to have to happen after, maybe the Super Bowl. We won't even know who our head coach is. But be honest with you, if you think about it, if we wait that long to have a head coach, that means that Kubiak is probably who we're going to have as head coach. If we wait that long.
Unless he loses to the Niners next week.
Right.
Because I think that if they want Kubiak, if he loses next week, they'll announce it. If they
Yes.
don't want Kubiak, and it's if Kubiak's available next week and
Or
he's
Shula.
not hired, no, Shula's going to Miami.
No. Understood. I'm just saying either one of them's not going to be announced till this next game, regardless.
Right. Yeah, Shula's going to Miami. That's pretty much a done deal. I think Brian Flores is going to Pittsburgh. That's a done deal. The place that the one that I want to see, and I'll leave with this, is do the Ravens hire Stefanski or do they hire Minner? Because I think that's the two guys that are going one or two that's going to the Ravens. Who do you think the Ravens are going to hire?
Here's the thing. I would think if the Raiders wanted Jesse Minter, he would already be announced as the head coach. The Ravens, maybe he goes there. But I would say if they really wanted Minter, he would be announced as the head coach
or
already.
Stefanski.
I'm just saying it. I mean, Chargers are done, right? So if he was going to be the head coach of the Raiders, I think it would already been announced. I think they're waiting on Kubiak.
I didn't say he was going to be the coach of the Raiders. No. Jesse Minter for the Raiders? No. Minter
what I'm saying
to the Ravens or
Cat, you're missing what I'm saying. The thing about it is,
okay,
Chargers
I'm sorry.
The only reason we haven't announced the head coach is maybe we're waiting on one that's still playing. Is what I'm saying.
Right. And to me, that's Kubiak is like everybody's saying Kubiak. But I'm the one that said don't be lost if it's Robert Saleh and an OC of good nature. Dable, McDaniel, or if Brady loses with the Bills, maybe Davis Webb. You know, that's not a bad.
Let's say it's Robert Saleh as the head coach and Davis Webb, first time OC. That's not terrible.
It's not.
and that's why I think we're also taking a freaking amazing freaking asset away from the Broncos. Just saying at the same time. You know,
addition by subtraction.
Not crazy. Not crazy at all. Love you, no shit, man. Well, I know you want to bail. All right.
Yeah, I want to bail. But thank you for being here. And no cut-ups on this because we're 25 minutes over. But great. I appreciate all the interaction here. Remember the last night it was myself and Murph. And you hit up that show last night, Nabman, for a little bit. It was myself and Murph and Tom and Angelo. It was
I was
3-hour show.
You guys out in the chat.
Well, I won't say shit about that. But again, I appreciate everybody being here. I will be here Sunday. I will be here Sunday. The only reason why I didn't do last Sunday, I think it was my anniversary. And it's like, nah. And I was going to wait for all of the playoff games to be done. So if you missed me last Sunday, it was because I couldn't do it. So, and who missed me last Sunday? Not too many people. So, but anyway, oh, well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. But you take care, Bob, and stay warm up there.
Absolutely, brother.
All right. Take care, bro.
All right, man. Peace. All
right. That's Navman, who is cutting out. And I appreciate that. I mean, we're here. Captain will be here Sunday or I'll be here Monday. Okay. Oh yeah, I like this. EMAC, I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here. Okay. I appreciate you being here, but no, I'm not here. Mike Sarah says Denver beats. Oh, okay. Who's Denver playing? The Bills, right? Yeah, Denver's playing the Bills, and the Patriots are playing the Texans, right? Yeah. So the Patriots take the Texans. I think that can happen because the Texans don't. Their offense is just sketchy. Denver playing the Bills. I don't know. I can see Buffalo on that one. Rams. Who are the Rams playing? Oh yeah, Rams playing the Bears. Yeah, I can see that. Rams beating the Bears. Yeah, Seahawks playing the Niners. And I tell you, if the Seahawks win and the Raiders don't announce anything, then you know it's probably Kubiak. Emax says go Bill. All right, everybody, y'all take care. I'm out. It's I'm gonna get out of here where I can actually get. I gotta eat. I haven't eaten dinner yet, but I'm gonna do that. Y'all take care. We'll see you Sunday. Have a great weekend. Until then. Oh, here's a and one last comment. Surratt needs to come with Fernando. Surratt late second. Okay. But, I think we're going to do that. We're going to say who do you, and we're not going to go Fernando, who do you want? But we're going to ask him for input. Because you're not going to turn your team over to some guy. And I know that Navin says that's the dude. Well, okay. But you're not going to turn your team over and say you have control over the roster. No, but you can have some input, and I can deal with that. Input's better. Y'all take care. We'll see you Sunday, and have a great weekend until then.